Hello, my name's Julie Hebert. I'm here to talk about your Brown Hearing Center's employee benefits beginning January 1, 2026. Included in this announcement is my contact information, my email address, and phone number. Please feel free to reach out if I can ever be of assistance. Of course, Carlene and Shannon also know how to get in touch with me if you ever need anything. So Brown Hearing Centers is going to continue to offer medical insurance through Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Sun Life is going to continue to be the provider for dental and vision and life insurance. So we did change slightly the type of plans that are offered with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we're only allowed to offer three plans this year. So we have the HMO plan, the HMO buy-up, and a PPO plan. So the first plan has $1,000 deductible. After you've met that $1,000 deductible, Blue Cross is going to pay at 80%. You're going to pay at 20%. Then you're going to have a max out of pocket on this plan of $5,000 for an individual, $15,000 for a family unit. You can go see your primary care physician for free. There's no charge for that. You have a $70 office visit to see a specialist, $75 to go to an urgent care. Most of the rest of the services, like labs and x-rays, imaging, hospital visits, inpatient and outpatient, you're going to meet that $1,000 deductible, then you're going to pay 20% up to that maximum out of pocket. If you do go to the emergency room, you have a $500 copay, plus you're going to meet all that other crazy stuff. So I do encourage you to always try to use an urgent care when you can. Know where one is that's close by, that is in network. If the facility has urgent care in the name, it's billed as an urgent care, which would have a $75 copay. If it has the name emergency in it, it's going to be an emergency room, even if it's not attached to a hospital. So kind of let that be your guide. And of course, if it is a true emergency, go, to the emergency room. If you are admitted for the reason that you go for, you have chest pains and they end up admitting you overnight for observation, that $500 copay would be waived. So just important information there. Your prescriptions are going to be 0 for generic, 10 for preferred generic, 50 for name brand preferred, 100 for preferred, non-preferred name brand, and then you get into specialty medications. On the buy-up plan, you don't have a deductible. You have a $0 co-insure. You have a $0 deductible, and then you have a 20% co-insurance, a max out of pocket of $6,300. You do have a primary care copay of 40, a specialist of 80, urgent care is 75. Then everything else is going to be subject to just a 20% co-insurance until you reach that maximum out of pocket. So that's a nice option for you without any deductibles. So things like labs and x-rays, you would immediately start receiving a benefit and just be paying the 20%. On the PPO plan, you do have the choice of being in the Blue Choice Network, which is a bigger network. You don't have to have the primary care physician and referral system that you do on the first two plans that we talked about. On this plan, you would be able to go to any doctor in the Blue Choice Network. You do have a $3,000 deductible, then 20% co-insurance, and a max out of pocket of $8,150. Do you have a $35 copay to go see your primary care, 70 to see a specialist, 75 to go to urgent care, and a similar setup on the deductible and co-insurance on all the other features. The pricing is listed here. You'll also see that as you go through your enrollment in ease, it will automatically populate those weekly premiums. Just a note on an in-network pharmacy, make sure that you're using a preferred pharmacy because you're always going to get a better price if you use a Walgreens, HEB, Walmart. Those are going to give you a better price with Blue Cross Blue Shield than going to Walgreens. MD Live is a option that you can use to talk to a doctor remotely. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. This talks about how to find an in-network doctor. Very important on the HMO, particularly that you stay in network unless it's an emergency, because anything outside of that Blue Advantage network, you won't have a benefit. You'll be paying out of pocket. So they're telling you how to look that up. Here's kind of my urgent care plug about making sure you're going, you know where one is, and you try to use that at $75 copay instead of the $500 emergency room. I'm talking about for things like the flu. Try not to go to the emergency room. Try to go to an urgent care. This is your time for open enrollment, the month of December. You have a January 1st effective date for any changes. This is your time to add or drop any independents that you want to because you just, want to make a change. Please know that you can cover dependents on your medical, your dental, your vision, Life insurance, you can kind of pick and choose. You don't have to cover them on everything. It's not an all or nothing. It's like a cafeteria. As you walk through, you can pick the things that you want to cover for each member in your family. This is talking about the fact that these deductions are pre-tax, so you don't pay any income tax on these items. And so we have to be careful and kind of make sure we only make those changes during open enrollment. Other than that, the changes need to be for a life event. This is talking about the group term life insurance, the voluntary life insurance. You can insure yourself, your spouse, and your children. All that information is in ease. It should pretty easily populate based on your age. So that's the easiest way to look at the pricing and what you're eligible to purchase. The dental insurance is going to continue with Sun Life. So we're with Sun Life Dental. You do have 2 teeth cleanings a year that are free. Once you go and they say, oh, Julie, looks like you have a cavity, you are going to have a once a year $50 deductible. I'm sorry, yes, deductible. And then they're going to pay at 80%. You're going to pay at 20% if it's just a little cavity. If it's something like a root canal or oral surgery, it's going to be 50-50 with your max dental benefit of $2,000 a year. Here's some information on your vision. It is through Sun Life, but it does use the VSP Vision Network. So there's information on how to find an in-network provider. Again, I really encourage you to go in-network. You're going to get a much better benefit on the dental and the vision if you can stay in the Sun Life network. You can get your eyes checked once a year for $25. You can get new lenses with a $25 copay. That gives you $130 towards your frames. And if you want to get contacts instead, it's $130 towards contacts, and it's one or the other, not both in the same year. So you can get your eyes checked once a year. You can get new lenses every year, but you can only get new frames every other year. This talks about when you turn 65, what to do. This is the Blue Access for members. If you haven't already done so, you can log on and become a member. You can look at all kinds of great information there. You can look at your claims. You can find an in-network provider, get a new ID card, all those things. This gives you some more information on that. And of course, there is a Blue Cross Blue Shield app. Here's some information on the MD Live virtual visits that you can do that are included in your plan. So there's information on how to get signed up for that. And here's information on the Sun Life app, how to get a digital ID card, find a dentist, all those things. So we're always here to help. If I can ever answer any questions or help you with any issues that you might have, again, please feel free to reach out to me. We appreciate you guys, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.